bromeliad collector locally, and been around for a long time. I don't know your bio, and if you want to share that, you can do that.
I'll tell a little bit, yeah.
He takes pictures.
So without further ado, Barry Landau.
Thanks, Paul. Hi, everybody. Barry Landau. Let's see, started collecting these plants and others about 50 years ago. My maternal grandfather started me on cactus and succulents when I was 7, and then I got into bromeliads around age 10. And I just want to mention my mentor, R.M. Delgado, who was known as Frenchie. And he was the basis of the entire Los Angeles bromeliad system. He started in 1948. He helped found the BSI, the Bromeliad Society International. He helped found this club. And I met him when I was about 10 or 11 years old, so that'd be around 70 or 71, when I was working at nurseries. And he took me under his wing and had me come over to his house. And within meeting him once or twice and doing some work with him and having lunch with him and his wife, he gave me like 100 bromeliads. And this is when there was only Ecmea fasciata and Bilbergia newtons. That's all you could get. And he was selling all kinds of great stuff into the West Hollywood, into the sort of the gay designer guys, and also to the South Bay people, because he was the only supplier of bromeliads at that time. It was all, species stuff. He was friends with Jack Roth, and I met all these people, Jack Roth and Victoria Padilla, and what's his name? He lived here, Carl, the older German guy. He lived right here.
Bill Palin?
No, well, Bill Palin too, yeah, but Fritz Kubich, thank you. His son is Carl. Fritz Kubich. Anyways, the point is, I just wanted to pay homage to Frenchie, whose real name is Rafael Maria Delgado, and because I wouldn't be doing this without him. And so I had a nursery for 20 years, doing other stuff, and then now I've been sort of in a half-forced retirement, and in my retirement I started these groups on Facebook that are now become the premier plant groups on Facebook. I don't say with any ego. And of course the ones that interest us are Planet Bromeliad and Planet Tillandsia. And those are 8 years old now. And Planet Bromeliad, as of tonight, has about 19,230 people. And Planet Tillandsia has about 17,500. But crazy me, I started 325 planets, of which about 150 are active, and there's about 750,000 people now. And so I waste my life pouring it in. No, I'm not wasting it. I'm trying to promote the plants to a younger generation and trying to pull people into the clubs and do whatever I can. Because what Frenchie, this is why I brought Frenchie, what he said to me was, before he died, I came back from college, this is like 1982, and he said, look, he thought like that. He was like 12 different gene pools from Europe. He said, I gave you the love of the plants, I gave you the plants, you have to figure out how to pass it on. And so I've always been involved in clubs when I could. I moved out of LA, so I wasn't here that much. But now what I've decided is better to attack the world. And it's been a very fun attack and a good attack. And the plants are very popular around the world now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to see the most recent World Bromeliad Conference show, 2018, that was at the Paradise Point, what do they call it? Resort. Okay, it's a little chunk of land out in Mission Bay. And I've said let's just get into it. I won't belabor it. So what I'm going to do for you first, when I hit the lights, thank you. We're going to look at the video, but what I didn't know about this video and this projector is that unfortunately, unfortunately, the bit rate, the way this machine, the computer talks to this thing, it doesn't talk at the same speed, so it's a little jittery, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna narrate this live. You can see this is the same video on my YouTube channel. I'm just gonna bump past the intro that's boring with me blabbing at you. Oh, go back. So, what you had was this convention center. It's like a mic compared to a city convention center is nothing. And you'll see them. We're going to look at the videos, then we'll see the photos. All right, so we're inside now. And you're going to see, I'll do some pans and other things, but this is the Dickia division. And, you know, the thing is this, I don't want to tell you my troubles, but I threw my back out 2 days before this. So I couldn't really shoot labels. I just couldn't stand that long. All right, you got lots of good Dickias. Hold on, one second, let me pause it. On the left there, you have something ultra spectacular. That's Hectia rosea, and the true Hectia rosea. And on the right, you have the true Hectia argentea. And, you know, Robert Kopstein and Andy Sikkinen and a couple other people down there, they have some of the best and only collections of Hectias anywhere in the world. I mean, there's a few, you know, the Europeans have some that they raped from the continent way back. But these plants, you know, I don't know if any of you have experienced Hectias. They're deadly, but they're so stunning. And they're so long-lived. I think there's one that's supposed to be at the British Kew Gardens that's like literally 230 years old or something. You may know. All right, so you're going to see some better shots of the Dickias later. All right, so here's the Bilbergia division. And, you know, what this video seeks to do is just to give you a feel for what it was like to be at the show. It's not that mechanically cogent. You're not going to get a lot of names here. But these are plants you'll recognize. Some of you have these. You know, I think that one dead center is limestone. There's Hallelujah, Bilbergia Hallelujah. So there's a lot of the plants that you're going to recognize from your own gardens. And usually I do the intensive thing of shooting every plant and every label. That turns into 700, 800, 900 photos. I didn't do that this time because my back hurt. All right, so we're seeing more great Bilbergias, and then there's one of my all-time favorite plants. This is Quisnelia Rafael Oliveira, or otherwise known as Quisnelia marmorata variegata.
Ah, yes.
And some are better than others, clones. Some are deeper banding. Some curl more. All right, we're into the Variesia division now. Let's hold on, wait 1 second. Sorry. You know, I've never done a live narration like this, so give me a little bit of grace either way. Look at that giant purple Variesia. It's absolutely stunning. I don't, you know, it's most likely a hybrid. I don't know what. I kick myself now that I can shoot more tags. And some of the members down there could tell us what these things were. But what surprised me was how many great giant Variesias these collectors had. You have to remember that in a way, let me stop for a minute. In a way, it's similar to our club or any club. There are certain people who physically can't do it, who can't bring the plants to the show. And then there's a few people with the best collections who make this gargantuan effort to bring the plants out in public, and it's maybe the greatest service they can do for the plants. This show was open to the public. When I went to the World Bromeliad the conference in Florida in 2012, it was like this private affair. They didn't have a day ticket. They didn't advertise to the public. It was crazy. It was just for the Bromeliad Society, which, okay. All right, so look, now we're into, we're in the Tillandsia division now, and there were like 3 40-foot long tables of Tillandsias, and this just tells you how much the collectors down there love Tillandsias. You know what? We can see a better picture if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Oh, that's not going to fit. Escape. Go back. What's it doing to me? Now I can't get it back. Now let's just leave it this size. All right, let me stop here. Look at this. This is beyond belief. To me, this was one of the great things at the show. This is Tillandsia capitata variegated. Now, one thing about this video that I have to tell you right away, and about the whole show, was it was grossly underlit. In other words, you're going to see there's one wall that's a glass wall where the lights all come from one side, and then whatever lighting they had, it was like, you know, mosquito lamps. I mean, it was crazy. So this looked way better in life, and it's going to be true of the photos too, because everything got sort of underexposed. All right, that is Ted Johnson's plant, and what he told me, and start now, what he told me was that this cost him a lot of money. And that means it costs, if Ted said it's a lot of money, that means it's a lot of money. You know, what's interesting is, when I started growing these plants, there were no variegates, tillandsias. There were other variegates, you know, obviously leafy plants. But in the last one second, I want to just make that point. All right, hold on, sorry, bear with me. In the interceding 30 or 40 years, we've had a bunch of variegated plants emerge in the tillandsias. And I think it's very interesting. I don't know if it's human intervention or if it's just that people are crossing things or they're getting toxified. Whatever it is, it's great. I love it. And I think that's one of the big futures for the collectors. Okay, enough said. That's Tillandsia multicollis to the left, I believe. By the way, anyone who wants to chime in on identifying plants or ask questions, please do. I don't mind being interrupted at all.
I think it's Depiana.
Depiana, okay. Yeah, multicollis is shorter.
But it looks like it may be a hybrid.
Yeah.
One of John Arthur's.
Yeah, John. All right, so now let me explain one thing. We're missing one whole table of tillandsias in the video. You're going to see still shots of them, but I did what I could. Part of this is the artistic division. So you have these, let me get this out of here. So you have these sculptures, and there's another nice one. And then Rodriguesiana, or I don't know, the big one. Well, you'll see. We're going to move down this table and we'll pan again, so you'll get close-ups of stuff. Look at that. Look at that spike. And then here's this. I think used to be Hitchcockiana. Used to be Vrizia. They took. There's Didasticcia, and I don't know what the large one is, and another small Didasticcia up front.
Wait, can I say something?
Yeah, well, let me stop it.
I have a feeling that she does something to a plant because they're all blooming at the same time. You know, she probably
Gases them?
Gas them, you know.
I think she may have for this show. When you see her display, though,
Everything was blooming.
when you see her display, your mouths will drop open. It's astonishing. You got to remember, the PAM is not really commercial.
That means,
Methylaldehyde or something. A half an apple in a bag. Seriously, half an apple in a plastic bag for 48 hours, and they bloom a month later. There's a special one, Florel or something, that the Dutch made, so that they could make 100,000 tomatoes bloom at one time, which is what they would do. Okay, let's move on, because if I talk too long about this video, we won't get the stills. All right, fasciculatas, or who knows, and look at that beautiful thing with the spikes. Well, there's a close-up, there's a closer shot to this, just a minute.
What day were you there?
Saturday, June 2nd. Look at the spikes. You know, there are certain tillandsias that have these colored, multicolored, and then frosted. They actually have trichomes or other kinds of surface cells that make them look frosted. But I just love the growth habit of this plant, too. I don't know what it is. I wish it did. So, you know, there's things you're going to recognize and then things that are hard to... Yeah, I kicked myself that I didn't get more shots of the tags. All right, this is another table of tillandsias, 40 feet long, secunda, and look at this clump of tectorum. You know, it's just unbelievable. Those have to be grown dry. You all know this. If you've ever had it and you wet it too much, it's dead in a month. Sorry. So, let's see. Junsea, thank you. And look at this, though. Hold on. Look at that thing. That may be no, that's a different thing. That's a different table, the multi-spiked one. Anyways, all right, keep moving. Because if we don't keep moving, I'm going to get in trouble. Nice, giant Xerographica there. And here we're going to move the camera and get some close-ups. Same table. Yeah, it's like 18 inches or 16 inches. There's an even bigger one in one of the other displays. Like more great tectorums. What do you call it? Now this to me was I'm a Dorati freak. It's my favorite species. This, I think, was brought, let me stop this for 1 second. This was brought in by Dennis Cathcart from Tropicflora in Florida. And later, I'll try to pick up the photo. There was 4 of the great commercial bromeliad growers of all time there together. It's in a photo on Planet Bromeliad. But this Dorati was literally 4.5 feet tall. I mean, you just can't even believe how big it is. I think I pan up and down on it. Let's see.
Is it tied together?
No, it's a true clump. It's a true clump.
Wow.
And you know,
The person behind it is pretty small.
what's that? No, they flew everything in. It's a write-off for them. That doesn't mean that, you know, if you're not making... Now, stop. Look at this. This is incredible. And I have stills of this, but this is the coalescent form of Tillandsia tectorum, but it's a little deceiving because of the people behind it. That is 18 or 20 inches, just the front span. And you see it curves up on itself, so it's probably 3.5 feet long. Again, you know, you put this in the sun with water on it, it's dead 2 days later. This has to be grown so perfectly to be like this. And you, as you guys know from your own gardens, if you find the right spot, you're in there. You're in like Flint. You just don't move it. But, and it's just displayed perfectly on, you know, a piece of metal sticking up. And this got a first prize. It almost I made best in show, but now I'm gonna, you know, I tried to go sort of in a logical order to this show, but now look at this. I got to stop for a second. You know, if I don't get to the stills, it won't be a great loss. I can always come another day, or you can see them somewhere. Look at this. These are the variant forms of Tillandsia tectorum, which you know is mostly Peru, but it can also be Ecuador and other places. But you got the giant, the larger forms on the right. You got the miniatur, or the smaller forms in the foreground. You got a coalescent one to the left. But what that is in the middle is Die Bromeliae, which is the journal of the Deutsches Bromelia Gestaltenschaft, or what it's the Bromeliad Society of Germany. And I guess that was a relatively recent article, and I stupidly didn't shoot a photo of the explanation, but what a great display. You know, the people in Asia now who are they're just absolutely nuts, gooey-eyed for Tillandsias. They love tectorum, but they can't grow it over there unless they put it under a solid plastic roof and virtually never water it.
Barry, there was a guy in Japan, he bought a $4,000 plants.
Yeah.
More than that.
Well, I've seen guys fly in poles. Okay, so this, look, this is a table. This is a table. Excuse me. This is a table of mixed genera. So you've got different things here. Now again, this is an example of why this show was so hard to shoot. All the light is coming from one direction, so if you shoot the light, you got nothing. And I tried to avoid it, but so you got Ichmeas, you've got what do you call it? The rare ones. I can't think of the name now. This again, these are the mixed genera table, and that's a nice big variegated Alcataria in the back there. And some of these are neophytums. You got what was that? Lepardum? What's it called? You guys know it. All right, so now we're starting in the neos, and these right up front. Let me stop for a minute. Right up front, you have two of the best. Really, I like go nuts for them. The miniature, the middle-sized Chester Skotak hybrids. It's not wild rabbit. Well, if we get to the stills, we'll know. But look at this. This is incredible to me. This is a God begotten. I can't remember now. Right now, it's a funny name.
It's not Red Bull, is it?
No, it's one that I hadn't heard.
Cantankerous?
Cantankerous. Thank you. So you're going to see a little more of this table further on. There will be another pan, and well, and see when it stops like this in the video, I'm narrating about the plant. So that's right. So you understand why it's
Sorry, what is the name of this one?
cantankerous.
Oh, it is
The Nerigila cantankerous by Chester Skotak.
Cantankerous.
Chester, I've known Chester for many years, but he's become a really good friend on my Facebook groups. I'm sorry, that was the other one. This is cantankerous. And look at this. It's just crazy. You know, even when we had variegated Vreesias 30, 40 years ago, which they would go for $1,000 or more, nobody ever dreamed of this kind of thing. And believe me, there's 50 steps, 50 breeding steps in this. He works on this stuff for 20, 30 years. And he says he has 100,000 to 200,000 seedlings a year from his crosses, and he throws 99% away.
That's a good hybridizer.
He's the best, to me he's the best in the world, one of the best. But I mean, he has certain purposes. He's going after the plants, neos and other things that collectors love. He also does produce some commercial plants. These are more the Neos. You know, you know what I'll do? Some night we'll do a talk just about Chester. I have probably 500 pictures of his plants. All right, more of the Neos. This is like the second or third table. You know, and I can stop if anyone wants to stop, but it just gives you a feel for how, you know, it's a pretty darn good show. You know, there's one or two people that flew in from Peru, and they felt they got their money's worth. Look at this. This is 3 feet. I don't know the name of it. I love it. All right, so that's the Neos. All right, so now, hold on, let's pause this a minute. So you had the tables radiating out from the middle, and in the middle was the Best in Show display, which is where we are. So to your in the distance, there's the Talansias. Behind us are the Near Geos and the Boberges we saw. And then to the right of us, in the back of the room, is the member sales area. And then what you're seeing through that opening where the curtains are, that's where the commercial guys were selling. Just to give you a feel for the layout. So, I mean, it was definitely a big tent. It's like a 200 by 200 foot tent or something.
Was it a tent?
Yeah, it's a tent. You'll see, I'll show you, you'll see the pictures in a minute. All right, so let's get this going. All right, so here we got a pan of, this is the Best in Show displays. And we're gonna go plant by plant, or just, you'll see. Let's wait for it to go. I'll tell you about that in a minute. It's astonishing.
Which one was Jackie's?
Well, I don't think she was in the Best in Show. Hers are further on in the room.
Oh, okay.
But if we get to the stills, all right. So look at this. This is just astonishing. And evidently, a person, a collector, who's relatively new to bromeliads.
He's a member of our club.
He's a member of our
Oh,
That's
sure.
Peter's.
Yeah.
Peters.
And the thing that I loved about it most was you get close to it and it played harp music.
Yes.
Played harp music.
In real life. Isn't
Yeah,
that
That's his recording.
Yeah.
Sorry, which one is his?
The harp. The xerographical harp.
Oh,
Yeah. So hold on, we'll get to the other, we'll get to each plant in a minute. And, you know, I don't know how many hours, but that's a lot of effort, you know. Certainly a lot of effort. The people in Taiwan and Malaysia went crazy over that. They were like, who does this stuff? All right, so you got Ampulacea, a classic species on the left, one of my favorites. And there I am, violating all the rules of good cinematography by stepping in my own shot. This is Silver Queen, you know, John Arden, maybe one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest phalange hybrids ever. Look at the form, and you know, when it's, the spike is outrageous. And then look at this, a giant Straminia clump. Gotta be 2.5 or 3 feet wide, but you know, if you count the spikes, it's 7 or 8 feet, tip to tip. And there's another one that if you water it in the sun, you're gonna fry it. This is crazy. This to me, again, was one of those best things of the show. I love Deuteroconias. I like all the weird stuff. I went through a phase where I didn't. Now I love them all, you know, 50 years later. But, you know, this is Deuteroconia, brevifolia, brevifolia twice. And a clump like this is 10 years old. And a clump like that is 20 years old. I mean, even if you fertilize the shit, or sorry, some crap out of this, it's got to be 40 or 50 years old.
yes.
I forgot, is that, would you say 3 feet across?
It's at least 3 feet. It's in a, I asked him how much it weighed. He said, because of the soil in the pot, it's a ceramic pot. So this weighs like 150 pounds.
If you go on Guillermo Rivera's tour of northwestern Argentina, you'll see this clumps
Yeah.
that are 10.
Well, they grow like hillsides.
They're probably 500 years old.
Yeah, at least 500, maybe 1,000 years. Nobody knows. You know, we need so much more science about bromeliads, and it'll come slowly. But you know, we just don't have the budgets like the orchid people. Again, it's a slow shot because I'm talking about it on the video. Let's see, are we moving? Yes. All right. So you got Bill Palin, my old friend Bill Palin, one of the great hybrids, made by Bill Baker. Thank you. And then you got Socio. No, what's it called? Not Socialis. It's a hybrid up front. I can't remember. It's in the stills. And there's the close-up of the harp. And then let's see, we're going to move around the table. This is just a classic you all probably have, is Burt, but look how good this one is. Some of them have leaves that are lax. They're not well-defined bands. And this is Tillandsia Houston. Again, remember now, we're looking at the best in show table. So, you know, these have no dead leaves, they're perfect, they're grown perfect. And I think that was about to come into bloom, but I don't know. All right, to me, this is, you know, I go nuts for this. Tom Tiger, I think it's called, or Tiger Tom. This is about 2.5 inches, and it's full grown. You know, this is a very tight shot. That plant is probably 15 or 20 years old.
Wow.
Because it's a Lilliputiana cross. And if any of you have Lilliputiana, near Julie Lilliputiana, you know that by the time it pops 6 times, your great-grandchildren will have it. It's crazy. But look at this. Again, this is another, I believe it's a Chester Skotak plant. And I just go nuts for these. You know, I would pay $500 for that if I had $500. Snowbell, Ecmea Snowbell, one of the great Orlandiana clones. And again, you know, the bad Orlandianas, the leaves fold back, they don't have good conformation, they don't have great leaf numbers. Look at that.
Is there
What is the cross with Orlandiana and what?
I'm not sure. And this is a Platinema.
That was Tom Nappick's plant.
Okay, Platinema cross, not chestnut, what's the other one? It's in the stills. But it's a hybrid.
It's Platinema times hieroglyphica.
That's it, okay. And this is about 3 feet. You know, it's getting on the size of the smaller Alcantarias. You know, and way back when, we thought Alcantarias were either Tillandsias or Vresias. And then this, I guess, was a winner of the artistic as the best in show. It doesn't scream hello to me, but it's okay.
That wasn't the winner.
Peters won.
Peters was the winner.
No, this is also the best in show table.
Right, but it wasn't the winner. It wasn't the best in show. It
No, it's by division.
Okay,
wasn't artistic.
whatever. It's in the best in show. That's all I know. Here's
Best
our
in show by
Orthophytum.
division.
I think it's Starburst.
Yeah, I know that person.
Who's that in the background?
And you know, I think Orthophytums are kind of a, you know, it's something, a taste you acquire. And then here, just a little perfect, little beautiful Tectorum.
The plant on the right is the Johnson plant.
Yeah. And then there's that Straminia clump. Just then we're panning back to review the best in show.
This me.
Yep. It's you. Okay, so now we're moving on to the either the group displays. This is Pam's display. Pam Coity, now Pam Hyatt. And it's just crazy, gaga crazy. Look at this. There's, what is that, 100, 150, no, I don't know, 100 Tillandsias here, and like you were saying, all in bloom.
Larry, are those Haliconians hanging down?
No, those
that's-
Ponderosa or
No,
Depia.
Those
Izii.
are Vermilion?
What is it?
It's Tillandsia Izii.
Izii,
It's from
that's right.
Chiapas.
That's right.
And then the
Tillandsia
way
Izii.
back is Tillandsia australis.
Right now.
Izii.
The background is.
Yeah.
So that pulls it all together.
Now, what's happening is I'm slowly developing, all right, so let's just talk about this. So here's the San Diego Society's own display, and this is like 40, 50 feet long. Again, you know, somebody, meaning 3 or 4 or 5 very dedicated people, put a lot of hours into this. And look at all the Tillandsias. I'll do a panel on the Tillandsias in a minute. And it's, you know, there's an art to doing this stuff for shows, doing show displays. These things don't just walk in and set themselves up. You know, I wish they did. I wish we could clone them with legs, but. And I think we're going to get a slow pan of the. Yeah, here we go. So look at giant Doradii there, and a lot of foliage to the left, and you know, streptophilas, and look at the giant. Well, let me stop for a second. Oops. Didn't stop quick enough. We're almost done with video. Good, because look at that, it's our Graphica, dead center. Let me keep moving. All right, so this is the San Diego Club, and then next to it we have just behind that right there. We're going to get one shot more of the leafy stuff at the base of the San Diego Society show display. Great stuff. And then next to them is Saddleback Valleys, which for driving 100 miles is not bad to bring all this stuff down. And look at that table, the table and chair. there's like 300 or 400 Ionanthus, little tiny Mexican, Tillandsia Ionantha mexicana, all over the cherry table. And then these are John Arden plants. All of these are John Arden hybrids. And I'm not sure, I think Liz Butler or somebody did these, brought these in. So you're gonna get a pan of the show now to give you a feel for what it was. Here's those Tillandsia tables. That's the member sales way in the back. And here's in the middle there, obscured by the Variesia, it's best to show. And then here's the Dickias and art stuff up front.
There don't seem to be very many people.
Well, yeah, I got there at a break. And don't forget, the most fervent people,
Came early.
yeah, they come early to get the,
Yeah.
We
the
were there
member sales.
Wednesday.
Okay, so that was the official, below the type is the official,
Very,
yes,
that very dark one that looked like a Variesia that was purplish black.
yeah,
It was actually a Warrawia sanguinolenta.
okay, incredible, Warrawia. And the Warrawias all come from higher altitude cloud and rainforests. They don't grow near down where most of the Variezias grow. And they're very touchy. Okay, we're gonna, now, I don't wanna make you dizzy, but how far am I in? Am I a half hour in? What's our timing?
It's 8:32.
What do I have, 30 minutes left? 15? 20. Okay, so get ready because you're gonna get dizzy. So these are the palms on the way in. Oh, that was, the convention center. And you walk, there's a nice euphorbia. You walk around the garbage cans, the whole garbage area, and that's the giant, look, you can get some idea of this. There's the tent. That's the commercial sales area facing us. And you walk in, and you look around. You see there's more people here at this point,
It
too.
was quite full Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. And those are Variezias brought in by Paul Isley. Look at this, the true Hectia argentea. I think this is either Kopstein's or what's his name? Andy's. But the point of this one was the artwork behind it. Somebody did this great piece of artwork behind it. And I didn't find out who or what. And I was trying to keep moving. There's we're just gonna go real quick. I don't want to make you nauseous, but if we're gonna see, there's the coalescent form. There's the Vermilli. Just so you people know, just so you know, the Germans absolutely are disgusted by the hybrids. They hate them. They think it's a bastardization. They only collect species. So hold on. This is what Nels was just telling us. That's the Warrawii, which is named after Werner Rau, right? Warrawii. I met Werner Rau. I spent half a day with him in Heidelberg in my teens in 1984.
Really?
I just called him up out of the blue, and I said, well, I'm a student from UCSC, and I'm part of the Vermilion Club in Culver City and BSI. And that was all wonderful when I said, I'm the student of R.M. Delgado, Frenchie. He goes, you knew Frenchie? And that got me in. Seriously, I'm serious. Everything else was like, I don't have time for you. That's a funny story. They made the appointment for me at 10:16 and 30 seconds or something the next morning. I'm not kidding. And I was there early. They gave me a coffee, the secretary. And at 10:16 and 30 seconds, Werner Rau walks through the door. And he says, we have 2 hours, which, it's like a Swiss railroad. You have exactly 2 hours to the second. I'm telling you, the Tillandsia houses at Heidelberg, this is the greatest Tillandsia expert ever, really, and one of the greatest Vermilion experts. His book called Bromeliads and one called Tillandsia. So there's the Silver Queen. It's some of the greatest books ever on bromeliads. Werner Rau. Oh, who's that?
Hey.
Sometimes there's 2 shots because I improve one. This is Lisa Robinette, my friend from Florida, who's, Nels and Lisa are both on my planets. And Lisa's a very sweet person. She has one of the greatest collection of variegated Neurogelias and of miniature Neurogelias anywhere. And sweet lady. Let's see, what does that say? Can you make it out? So Aristocrat, sorry, Tillandsia aristocrat. It's a great hybrid. All right, we're just gonna move gingerly. Bill Palin, right, Bill Palin by Brian Chan.
Brian Chan.
Yep, yeah, of course. And then Brevoli, I didn't get that. Okay, Bert, Houston, oh, Cotton Candy, so it's Houston Cotton Candy. And then is this Toy Tiger, sorry, Toy Tiger. And this is, I think it's Snowbell. Yeah, Snowbell. And you know, to answer your question, a lot of those Orlandianas are they're not hybrids. They're, what do you call it? Not clones, cultivars, thank you. Platinum Herographica, Scott Sandell, Straminia. All right, so we're just gonna move lightning speed because otherwise you won't see everything.
Oh, you were very taken with those.
Yeah, again, I would have, you know, I would die for those. Okay, Bill Burgess, which I love, you know, I like the tubular forms. Some people don't like them, I do. And Rafael Oliveira, you know, he's a famous Brazilian botanist and a great Orantos. And Black Mystic, one of the, Cryptanthus, Black Mystic, one of the great ones ever. Yeah. And Apulaceae, or one of them. You know, there's like 30 things that call Apulaceae, you know what I mean. All right, Dickias. We're just going to keep moving gingerly. I don't know why I jumped suddenly to Tillandsias, don't ask me. There's that Hectia rosea. Yeah, there's the tag on it. We're out of focus, I don't know why. And Hectia tillandsioides, or tillandsioide, whatever it's called. It's one that looks like a Tillandsia. Argentea. More great Dickias. And you know, Steve Ball, our friend here, is one of the great Dickia growers and appreciators. And between him and Brian and a few other collectors here, we have some of the best Dickias in the whole world, you know, outside of Gastaldi down in Brazil.
Nell joined that group now too.
And, all right, keep moving. Here's that rosea, Hectia rosea. And the other Argentea, I just keep moving. This is, I like this where it's equidistant leaves and nice form. Yep, something. All right, keep moving. Keep moving, because a lot of people aren't that interested in Dickias, but you will get interested in them if you start with the leafy, with the soft stuff. And so you got the orthophytums to the left, and then Androlepsis, is that right, guys? No, what's this on the right? Is it Androlepsis? It's the rare one from Mexico. There's like two species in the genus. These are just a table of just special. Oh, there's our good friend Dr. Larry Giroux. He doesn't like to be called Dr. Larry anymore, but he is the Cryptanthus Society, along with some of the other people. But I mean, you're talking, he has 500 different Cryptanthus, wow. And he knows how to grow them.
What's his name?
Dr. Larry Giroux. Yeah, you just email me and I'll send it to you. You can go to Planet Cryptanthus. Get online, man. You got to get with the program. You can message him on Planet Cryptanthus. He'll answer you in an hour. Streptophila, a really nice form of Streptophila there, and a nice Tictorum. Northern Tictorum. Ribbit. You know, it's under the artistic. It's just a standard Aranthos, but Rothii, or some kind of cross. Yeah, I met Jack Roth. He was a great guy, friend of Frenchie's, and he was funny. He brought back like 200 of those plants. He was the first one to find them. It was him and Frenchie and Harry Olds as an Oldsmobile, and they would go down. And Harry Olds had a. Isn't that Androlepsis? No, it's something else. What the hell is this called? Ursulea, thank you. Ursulea. There's like two species, and I love them. To me, it's fantastic. It's
from near
yeah.
No, not Oaxaca. It's from Puerto Vallarta.
So, yeah, look at this beautiful. I think it's a hybrid. What's that say? Make it out. Delicata. No, it's a species. So now we're into the Tillandsia. This is probably the table I didn't get in the video. And unfortunately, you know, we're just going to do we're flying over in a jet. Look at these. Look Look at that to the left, El Guapo, I think it's called, El Guapa. I think it's one of Pam's hybrids. You know, the thing about Pam, she claims, and I believe her, because Pam never exaggerates, she says she has 3,000 hybrids. But, you know, that takes your whole life to do that. It's like being a Zen master. Paul Isley, same thing, takes your whole life. And maybe you get, no, she's got a nursery, you can go to nursery. But, you know, she doesn't have commercial quantities. She has collector quantities. And she's not cheap, but she has great stuff. There's the variegate.
Bird Rock Tropical.
Bird Rock. I assume people know things, I'm sorry. So there's that other table with the, you know, you can see how, to a certain degree, when I shot with the stills, I shot parallel as I was shooting the video. So that's why, look at this nice display of different forms of Ianantha. Again, you know, Tillandsia Ianantha was the Tillandsia that started the Tillandsia craze. They brought in 500,000 of those at certain points. From Mexico and Guatemala.
Yeah.
This is, you know, going back 40 years. And, okay. Whoops. But we're just going to keep moving. I don't want to make you seasick, but look at that nice red leaves. What's that? Let's see. It says Love Knot. I think it's either, that's what's his name from Arizona. Pretty sure. Look at the Tectorum. And again, these are mostly the plants you would see at every year at the San Diego show, because it's mainly the same hard-working collectors from the group that bring their stuff in. I'm not putting it down. This is fantastic. But I must say, it really is worth going to the San Diego show. It's in a much smaller room. You know, it's in a tiny room, essentially.
Is that over there at the...
Balboa Park, yeah.
Balboa Park?
And I got really jealous when one of them told me, oh yeah, the park lets us use this room for our show for $100.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell, we're paying $4,000? But you know, our auditorium, what we do promotes the plants. It's expensive for us, but I think we're doing a good thing. So there's that, used to be a Vriesia, I think, right? Tillandsia. There's the giant Dorati. And it really is 4 feet. I mean, you know, we're talking tip to tip, but. And he had pups of that, full-grown pups of that for sale, but they were $125. I wasn't, okay, so this is the Ecmea division. And there's some darn good Ecmeas here. Hold on, there's a better shot coming. Well, that's, what do you call it? Not New Kellis. Yeah, Recordata, but it's the Sun God one, or Sun Gold, whatever it's called.
Aztec Gold.
Aztec Gold, thank you. Look at this. This is one you don't see very often. It's this really beautiful species, Ecmea. Let's hold on. See if that's got the name. I want to spit it at you. Pitteri, which is one you almost never see it. You know.
To Johnson.
Because you got to remember, one of the great things about all of you, even the newest people that collect these plants, is you are helping to preserve something that nobody else is preserving. You understand? Monrovia Nursery doesn't care about these plants. You know, the big guys back east, even the big bromeliad growers, except not tropical flora, but the commercial growers, they just want to grow guzmanias, and they want to start it for 20 cents and end up wholesaling for $5, and they don't give a shit about, they don't give a damn about the species plants. Look at these fantastic, you know. You got to remember that Neregelia, by far, mostly, the two most important plants for collectors are Tillandsias and Neos. But you've got Bill Burgess, is very popular now, and that's going to have the name now. I'll tell you what it is. Heat rash. Heat rash. I'll go back so you can see what it is. And you get why it's heat rash. Look at the spots. You know, Chester is so funny. He gives great names. He's got Groucho, and he's got Wild Rabbit. He's got a lot of good names. All right, let's keep going. You know, and again, we just can't possibly, I couldn't possibly shoot all the tags I normally do. Was that Fospirier or it's not Fospirier because it's too big. And you know, see, it's funny. This is something that Skotak would have thrown away the minute he saw the uneven banding.
That's Chester.
Chester? But that means it was done by somebody else named after him, right?
Well, the hybrid name is Chester.
Yes.
Barry, we
But
gotta
I'm
keep
just telling
moving.
you that Chester Skotak would never have kept this plant.
Barry, we gotta keep moving.
Okay,
Because of the uneven,
so here's Pam, here's Pam's display, and we get the EZI? What's it called?
ECI or ICI?
EZI? And a bunch of, look at all this stuff. All in blue. Yeah, that means she florelled them or did something to them like 3 or 4 months ago.
Those are all Tillandsias.
Yes, it's all Tillandsias. Her whole nursery is Tillandsias. Hohenbergia, Leopoldo, yeah, you know what it is. Horstai, thank you. But there's like 20 different ones of this. Look at this. Oh, incredible Arcantaria. I don't know which one, but I go nuts for these. So it's interesting. They have a whole line of tables that acted as security. On the other side is the commercial people, and they have like 200 pineapples going bad with latifolias. Look at it. It's just table after table of pineapples to separate the show from the commercial. I took one. All right, this is the sales area. No, now we're back. I'm sorry, we're jumping back to the. This is the San Diego Brewing Society display. And there's that great Alcantaria. And some great Ecmeas. Bam. Bam. That was 18, 20 inches. I don't know, it's huge. Streptocarpa. Streptophylla. And a nice Dickia platyphylla or something. Okay, back to the Dickias. Again, I didn't know. I was dizzy by the time I was doing this. We're just going to run through because if I go quick, we'll see them all. And those, we're doing quantity over quality right now. Quack, quack. It's a duck. Yeah, maybe an aardvark. That's the saddleback. You're going to see the chair in a minute. This is the art display. This is looking out the windows at the front. Okay, so we're back, walking through the parking lots. Just burn through these. Hold on, there's a few more. Now this is shot with the other camera, the little camera. The other was the big Nikon. And this one, does its own thing. It decides whether to, they both have computers in them, but. All right, so some of this is very doubled up, but I'm just going to run through them. I want to get to the sales area for you. Let's just go through. Okay, so here's the artistic Neos, and one of these, a couple of these are Jackies.
These are Jackies.
Yeah.
Those are all okay.
And they got prizes. They just didn't get past the show. And then they have, this is when he walked in the door, there were some metal trees. Those metal trees they use every year in the San Diego show. And just like a public display thing here. Some nice. Oh, that's the saddleback. Look at that chair. Like 200, 300, 400. I don't know. A lot of Ionathas. And more of the Arden stuff. Arden. I wish I had been in shape to document these. Because, you don't get a chance to see the Arden stuff anymore. Blackness, yeah, okay. There's a different angle on the olive tree. Look at that pup, cute pup. And the orthophytums, and some other different, smaller Neos. I'm almost done, Paul. We're going too fast, but it's okay. A lot of it's repetitious. Yeah, well, what do you call it? It's Chester Skotak. It's I can't think of the name. It starts with an M. Can't think of the name. There's a show shot. And they had good air conditioning, I'll say that about it. There's the show t-shirt. $25. I couldn't do it. Yeah. That is a video we can't look at.
And were you at the very beginning of the show?
No, I was there Saturday at about 10 in the morning till about 1:30 or 2 in the
And the show opened
afternoon.
on Wednesday?
And this is fruit you could eat. You just had fruit sitting out. I don't know if it was clean, but
It has a rind, you can eat it.
I think we're getting close to the end. Oh, wait, let's slow down. I just want to give you one idea of the, so this gives you some perspective of, that's the member sales area. I mean, they were,
So it's commercial, not,
No, members.
no, that's membership.
well, not local members.
Yeah, it was mixed
Yeah, local
in.
members. Oh, yeah, there were some, okay.
No, they were from all over the country.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, okay, right, you're right. Look at those streptophilus. Those are, I mean, that's damn good quality.
Were they good prices or were they over the top?
You know, this BSI wants like 25 or 30% on
Yeah.
top. There's those Cathcart, those giant radii that were $125. This is all Dennis Cathcart stuff.
Drop floor.
Top floor, yeah, top floor. There.
$8.51.
And, you know, I would have, if I had somewhere to grow stuff anymore, I would have gotten a lot of these miniatures. I go nuts for the miniatures.
Were a lot of the Tillandsias just mounted with glue guns type things?
Well, most of them were bare root. This is great. This is a giant Chiapensis. I think there's another one. Here it is. And I forget who the member is, but this is so hard to find, this plant. And they're so well grown. And they're only like $30.
That
No,
was
no.
Steve Correll.
That
No,
was-
they were
that was-
much more.
That was $90.
Oh,
90.
90, okay. Sorry.
It depends, yeah, it depends on when you tried to buy them.
Oh,
Toward the end of the show.
look at
they're
that.
cheaper.
Great, man.
That's probably live art.
He doesn't want
Yes,
to
it
cut
is.
them home.
Where'd my arrow go? Oh, we're at the end. I think we're at the end. Let's see. Sure. Yep, that's it. That's it, folks.
Okay, Landau.